Hi, it's Kelly from the Olive Oil Outpost with a new recipe I found for using burrata. This recipe comes from Chef David Hawksworth from Vancouver's Rosewood Hotel, Georgia. And it's a really unique way of using the burrata instead of just with a little bit of olive oil and some heirloom tomatoes. This one's going to feature some glazed beets. So sit back, relax as I show you how to put this dish together that'll just amaze your friends. Okay, first of all, we're going to take our nice crusty bread. Now you can use a whole grain bread for this too, but we are going to make toast points on this. So I'm going to cut this up, and I like to cut my bread on an angle, just so, not too thick. Try to keep them as consistent as far as depth-wise as possible. This whole recipe, I will give you the actual ingredients because it makes about 12 pieces. And today I'm just going to demonstrate how to put one or two together. But this could be as for a serving of 6 for an appetizer. Okay, now that we've got these all cut up, we're going to dab them a little bit with our brush here with some extra virgin olive oil on each side. You want to do them on both sides because we want these to be kind of crunchy and crispy. Now you can do these a couple different ways. You can pop them in the oven like I'm going to here and let them toast up, or you can toss them on your grill if you're one of those griller type persons and let them toast up too and get some nice big burn marks. But if you're going to do it on the grill, I suggest you might want to cut them just a little to get our beets going here. We are going to boil these beets, so what we're going to need, we don't need our stalks at all, and you're going to need 3 to 4 beets. It depends on the weight. As I said, the actual recipe will be on our Facebook page there, and you can look at exactly how much you're going to need to make each of these recipes. So we're going to cut off our stems, and we're going to cut off this little area right here because we really don't need that either. I've already scrubbed up these beets so they're nice and clean for what we're going to be doing them, and we're going to put them in a pan with some water, get them boiling, which is going to take almost 45 minutes. So here we go. We've got our beets in the pan, and they're in the water, and the water is covering them. And to that, we're going to add 4 of our sprigs of thyme right into there. We're going to add our 1 teaspoon of peppercorns. You want some whole peppercorns. I kind of suggest the telecherries because I like them personally the best. I like the spiciness of them, but you don't have to. You can use any peppercorn you want. And then we're also going to use about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I'm just going to eyeball that for right now. Okay, so now that we have that all in with our beets, I'm going to put it on the stove here and let it start boiling. We're going to let this boil for approximately 45 minutes until these are tender, and we're going to have them partially put the recipe together here for the things we'll need to do to glaze our beets. I'm going to need a little bit of the gray sea salt, celery. I have some organic white sugar right here. I have a sprig of rosemary. We have some sherry vinegar and a little bit of water that we're going to be adding to them once we get the beets all softened up, peeled. What we're doing here. You can see a lot of the water absorbed while we're doing this. Let's get a beet here. Oh yeah, nice and tender all the way through. Beets are cool enough for you to handle and all drained. We're going to go ahead and peel them off, and you should be able to peel that skin off very easily. Of course, your fingers are going to turn red and your nails will get a little stained. There are different ways of peeling the beets and everything, but just go ahead and get all that skin off of them. I've already done a couple here for you. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and dice these into like little 1/4 inch round or 1/4 inch diced pieces. So I'm just going to get right into that beet, get a little chop, get it into some sections here. It doesn't have to be perfect, something like that. I'm using the same pan that we initially boiled our beets in. So we're going to put our nice little diced beets in here. Just like that. We're going to take our 1/2 cup of sherry vinegar. Drizzle that right in there. Take 1/4 cup of water. Right there. We've got our sugar, which is about 2 tablespoons. And I suggest you don't dump it all in one spot. It just makes it easier if you can to kind of circulate it around, even though we're going to go ahead and stir this all up. Just a suggestion. Then we're going to take our sprig of rosemary. Now our sprig of rosemary was kind of big. Came from a garden, so I'm just going to break that into 2 pieces. Put it in there, and then we're going to give this a little bit of a stir. Turn our heat up to about medium high, and then we're going to let that sit. Now we've got it at a nice syrupy consistency, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off its heat because it will thicken up a little bit once the heat's removed. And then we can remove our 2 rosemary sprigs right here, getting ready to drizzle on at the end, and our nice flaky sea salt as a condiment on top of that. Right now I've got my beets over in the pan over here. It's still pretty warm, and I just need to give them a pinch of salt. Gray sea salt, just a pinch of that on there. That'll help bring out some more of the sweetness in them. And then we're going to go ahead and give that a quick toss. Okay, so now to assemble this is very easily. We're going to take a piece of our toast. We're going to take a spoonful of our wonderful beets and their juices, just like that, on top of each of our toast. Now, as I told you, this recipe that I'm using will do about 12 different toasts. So we'll have a couple appetizers for about 6 people. So I'm just doing a few on here. Go ahead and put them just like that. Just put your beets on there. If you want to, you can add a little drizzle of the actual juice. The recipe also says that you can go ahead and make these beets the day before. It's easier for you. Got time punch or something like that. Refrigerate them covered, and then just gently reheat them in the morning. Okay, now our burrata. Now remember, burrata is a very, very cream-filled mozzarella. It's got a nice coating on the outside. It's going to be very gooey on the inside. So when I cut this, you're going to see it start oozing out all over the place. And that's okay, because we're just going to drizzle that, a piece of that right onto there. Get all that ooey gooey creaminess. I'm going to set that right on top of these.
Thank you so much.
Just like that. This is going to be wonderful. So creamy. Again, I'm not using all of the burrata. This recipe actually calls for a pound of burrata. Ones that we have, they're 8 ounces altogether, 2 4-ounce balls. You can do what you want. To me, this looks just divine right now. If you want to get fancy, a little dollop of these on top, just like this. Make it look ooh, so gooey. The recipe also says that you can go ahead and put a little bit of watercress and or arugula. Since I'm a little short on that right now, I'm just going to go ahead and just take a little piece of basil and lay it on these. Something very simple. And then to finish it off, we'll sprinkle it with a little bit of flaky salt. Very nice. Get that flake cleaned up. This looks nice. Presentation. Then you're going to give it the final thing, a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't have to be a strong one. Spanish works really well for this, or even our Moroccan oil would be great. Glazed beets and burrata on toast points. That's our recipe for today. Hope you enjoyed making it as much as I enjoyed showing you how to make it. And you'll find this in the complete recipe